It's the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make the outside of the cup and of the platter, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Verse 27, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outside, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanliness. Give all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And just want to speak about the race in which we run, right? The good fight of faith, as Paul said. We're running our race to receive mercy, to receive wisdom, to receive insight, to become better judges, and ultimately to receive a crown. And we must ensure that the race that we're running is our race, the race that has been suited for us based upon our unique paradigm or situation or story, right? Everyone's timeline is different, and there's wisdom, there's lessons, there are treasures, things that we are supposed to pick up according to our story. We must have confidence in it, in waking up we are told to run, and we do run. Some are running faster than others, but the scripture says, he who endures to the end shall be saved. So make sure you run a wise race, right? It's the book of John, chapter 7, verse 29. Let me go to Exodus chapter 4, verse 10. And Moses said unto the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither hereunto, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of slow tongue. Right. There are many of us who have been given different talents, different skills, but there have been stumbling blocks that have been put in our way that have hindered the vision that we have of ourselves. And that may be a part of your story, overcoming those hurdles, those obstacles, right? That may be a part of your race in order to see the Lord and for him to see you as the image that he created you, right? A lot of distorted images being placed on the hopeful elect or the chosen. Verse 11, and the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth, or who maketh the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Right? So whatever our condition, whatever our situation may appear to be, we must continue to trust in the Lord, right? The scripture speaks about the woman, the poor woman who had but 2 mitres, and she gave all that she had unto the Lord. Sometimes from day to day, we don't know what we have to give, but we give what we can. And we trust and believe that the Lord sees it and He honors it. And that's what matters. And we have to understand that the Lord does not see as man sees, right? Let's get that. Because although we're running races, we're running a spiritual race, right? Not a carnal race. And it's easy to make this race carnal, right? It's the book of Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, right? So this is why it's important that we continue to look at things from spiritual perspectives, right? Even the book of 1 Corinthians, it talks about giving honor unto those who seem less honorable, right? The last being first, the first being last. All of these things have spiritual resonance. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't do your best and look to come in last? Of course not. But also understand the parables and the dark sayings and the resonance behind it, right? The Lord chooses whom He pleases. So trust that the Lord has you in the right place, no matter the way it may seem to you, right? If you truly trust in the Lord, right? Because again, man judges by the outward appearance. Let's get the account of Samuel. 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as a man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Right? And this is so heavy. And a lot of individuals don't understand this concept, basic concept, because they're still carnal and they have not been born again. Right? We can read these scriptures, we can quote scriptures, but do we really understand the mind of the Lord? Have we really been made in His image? Do we really understand His thoughts and the way He views things and the way He does things? It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 12. For we commend not ourselves against you, but give you occasion to glory on our behalf, that we may have somewhat to answer them which glory in appearance and not in heart. Right? And the scripture talks about have you gloried as kings, that we not glory with you. I'm paraphrasing something along those lines. So we have to truly examine ourselves in all aspects according to the word and also according to the spirit. And comparing spiritual things with spiritual things, meaning the spirit that is within you, right? If the Lord has put His spirit upon you, do you understand the mission? Do you understand what's taking place and why it's taking place, right? What is your intuition telling you about the race that you're running and the race that you need to run? This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If a man trusts to himself that he is Hamashiach, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Hamashiach, even so are we Hamashiach. Right. So, the Lord will use different people for different reasons to bring forth his word and his glory, but who the Lord chooses is a secret. Right? None of us know. So we must run our race according to the fruits of the Spirit, with honor, with dignity, and continue to follow after the ways of the Lord to the best of our ability as we continue to try to live a life which is pleasing unto him, earning to be a woman and looking in need of her husband and looking for covering, guidance, shelter, right? People can bring you to your master, but ultimately your master is going to talk to you directly. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Right. So there are different people who have been given different gifts and different abilities, but ultimately who the Lord draws to him and who he chooses is something that we won't know until the end. So just like in the story of the tortoise and the hare was very boastful about his race, what he knew, what he acquired, how fast he was able to run, how long he ran. But the tortoise, he just kept going and kept going and kept going. For those who know the story, essentially the hare did not take the race as seriously as he purported to, and he ended up losing, right? So that's just a lesson that it's not based upon ability per se, but based upon slow and steady winning the race. Again, he who endureth to the end shall be saved. And I just wanted to finish here with the scripture to encourage you, beloved, those of you who may have what I perceive shortcomings, disabilities, just lacking, right, for various reasons. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, and verse, I want to say 17. Again, there's one that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability, and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looketh upon him for good, and set him up from his low estate, right? So, beloved, continue to keep walking one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, one situation at a time, one foot in front of the other. Look not to the right or to the left and how others are running. Learn, integrate as much as you can, but run your race and trust your path, right? Scripture says, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Trust in the Lord's path as He directs His way or your way onto Him. I remember that if you are part of His elect, nothing can separate you from Him. Remember, freely receive, freely give.